All right, I wanted to give you some ideas on things that I do when I'm mixing to make the choruses pop. Try putting S1 on subgroups or individual tracks. In the verses, narrow it a little bit, and then when the chorus hits, go back to default position or even wider. On the verse section, bring it down a half dB to 1 dB depending on the song. Sometimes you can't get away with a 1 dB move. On your master fader, you're just pulling your volume down. Try playing around with making your effects, specifically on vocals in the verse. Make them more mono, more narrow, and you can just pan them up, or you could put S1 to narrow things out a bit. And then when the chorus hits, you're gonna pull that back, and you wanna do more stereo effects, ping pong delays, stuff that gives more stereo information. And that'll make things naturally just sound like it's wider and bigger and more interesting. Another thing that I don't do all the time, but sometimes it works, is darkening the verses just a little bit. And you don't have to darken the whole mix. You could darken just certain elements, right? Darken the drum overheads or guitars, put a shelf on it and just pull it back a little bit. And then when the chorus hits, you automate it so it opens fully and it feels like it's getting brighter and more in your face, right? Sounds that have more mid-range and upper frequency content, they sound closer to you, right? And so you are pushing the mix back in the verse and then it's coming closer to you. Another one is adding a sub bass just in the chorus. In the verse, maybe it's an electric guitar and it doesn't have a ton of sub content. Either programming a sub bass to come in on the chorus, or you could try something like an R bass that's adding just some of that lower sub frequency in the chorus, and it'll make it feel like that mix gets deeper, which is very cool. Another thing you can do to add impact is literally use an impact sample. Grab something from Splice and just drop it in at the start of the chorus. If it's an acoustic song or something like that, obviously a sweeper and an impact is not going to be your go-to move there, but there's little things you can do to just add some energy at the top of that chorus. And sometimes a crash, an impact, a riser can do that. The other thing you can try is muting some of your subgroups or effect sends right before the chorus. That way it kind of adds a bit of a void right before the chorus hits, and it kind of tricks your ear to feeling that things got much bigger than they did, but it was just injecting some contrast and void right before the chorus. Pop a parallel compressor on the chorus, something like a distressor, and you can just use your mix knob and just feather that into the signal on the chorus, and that can add a lot of fun energy.